In the previous one, we made our layout scrollable, added the scroll bar, and also synced the animation. Now, on to the responsive part. That is, we want this layout to be responsive on smaller widths as well, something like this. So let's go ahead and set that up. For our layout, I'll go ahead and create two different timelines, essentially keying in the properties of the layouts. So I'll go ahead and have a desktop timeline and another one for a mobile timeline that is smaller with sizes. So here I'll start with the container itself. I will decrease the padding because we'll have lesser space. And for preview purpose, I'll go ahead and enable the layout guides as well, like this. And let's get started with the changes. So first of all, we will change the padding and then also change it from a row layout to a column layout like this. And then align the contents in the center, or I can have that enabled by default as well. That is, move out of the animate mode, select the container and set the alignment as centered like this. Nothing changes initially, but when we change the layout around, it is just what we want. Now I can go ahead and select the layout for the nested artboard and decrease its size as well to say 320 by 320 like that. And I can go ahead and also decrease the size of the feature points, that is the list items. Its height is set as fixed, so I can set that 300 here. Same for the individual list items as well, because their height is fixed as well. Now we get something like this. I can make the height a bit less as well. Let's say 250. That looks better. Now for the max width, let's decrease that as well. So 320 in this case. Further, you can go ahead and decrease the size of the text, that is the font size, the size of the icon, and so on as well for the added touch. Now I can go ahead and add some vertical gap in between the two. And let's set that to 20 as well. And finally, change the width of the scroll bar. In this case, set it to 6. Now our layout is ready for smaller widths as well. And to get a feel for the same, I'll go ahead and add some animation to the layout. Select the root layout, that is starting from the root. I'll go ahead and add a layout animation, change it to custom, set a transition duration, and a custom curve. Let's go with default elastic curve. And for the layout children, simply go ahead and add the layout animation, and it will by default inherit it from the parent. Let's add it for this layout, for the nested artboard as well, and for the feature group. Now if I go ahead and preview the animation, you can see this is what we get. So let's go ahead and set a simple conditional transition in the state machine in a new layer. That is, I can go ahead and drop in the mobile and the desktop version like this and take a look at the minimum width. So let's say if the width is less than 920, we should switch the layout from desktop to mobile one. So I'll go ahead and create a two-way transition in between. And to create a condition based on the artboard's width, we can simply go ahead and make use of the artboard width from the dropdown. And if it is less than or equals to 920, then we transition over to the mobile one. And if it is greater then 920, we switch back to the desktop version. And in the desktop version, I will essentially go ahead and key in the default values. Now to test the layout, I'll go ahead and start the state machine, select the artboard and decrease the width. You can see we get something like this. And the scrolling still works. And that's how we can create responsive layouts in Rive and add scrolling capabilities to the same as well. For all the upcoming future updates and Rive tutorials in general, consider subscribing to the Motion Magic so that you don't miss any feature previews. Drop your queries in the comments below if you have any. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one.